好像。我想好，可能我也不知道，不知道这个是我现在在网上听，现在很声音。
Because I did ask before online, I think they just two forms. Just like this information is missing.
And did you get them in time when they were gone?
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe I did it like that. They said correct time, but I thought so I never right. 思，我是你们课堂的助教，然后老师想要问你们，就是因为他有一周要参加会议是没有办法上课的，那需要补课，然后老师已经有在 iPad 上面放这个投票，然后请你们每个人都去投一下票，让老师知道哪一个时间你们可以进行补课。对，可以请你们现在没有投票的人马上投票，不然老师有点难进行。
你投了吗？
有任何问题吗？可以举手。
奖励吗？还是？后来语跟俄语一样都有完成跟未完成吗？我知道这个是应该这个跟sgshxhxh听就是一样的，俄语的听是吧？其实我觉得感觉都是听的意思，但是我不知道它们的差别在
然后，因为现在选出来最多的是10号的时候，如果有同学没有办法到场的话，可能知道请你们上线上课程这样。有任何问题吗？没有的话，我结束了。好。
Hi, sorry for being late and thank you for waiting. We actually have one more thing to choose. So as you see, we're going to be here on April 10th from 12 to 14. Please don't worry too much if you cannot attend. I will open the online class. In the best case scenario, you join the online class, and I will just make sure that nothing too serious will be during that time, so you don't miss much. So that's going to be April 10th from 12 to 10. Sorry. So next class we do not come here because I have a business trip over the entire long this way. So actually we don't have that much time before the midterm, so that's something I wanted to discuss with you. So one more time, next class 27th, we don't come here, there's going to be no class, and then April 3rd there is no class again, because of the holiday. And then on 10th, we've got 2 classes. One is in the afternoon from 12, as you voted. If you cannot come, please join online. And then we have our normal class. And then I believe 17th is the midterm already, right? So I will just show you what you have to prepare for the midterms. And trust me guys, it's gonna be fine, so don't worry too much. I actually uploaded that to your iClass so you can check it with me. Otherwise I will just go one by one and we can take a look together. Let me just open one more tab so it's easier. Okay, let's see. I do feel like you guys have a different interface than what I have, but I hope you can find it. I tried to kind of like separate everything, but just to make sure everyone can see that. So what is going to be on your midterms? Number 1, we will cover some history. So only the part that we discussed during this semester. I uploaded one file, which is over here. It's history, and then when you open that, it's going to be history of Ukraine 1.pdf. That's what you need. So during the first semester, we had a test on pages 1 to 5, and during this class, you will have a test about pages 5 to 11. So lots of pictures, not that much of the text, but it's everything we discussed before. So I hope you just know some general facts. So for example, what is going to be on the test, so maybe we can pay some attention. Like, why is it Ukraine? And then over here you have the reason why. So Ukraine comes from my land. That's what it means. So you're going to read that, and we talked about that. So just like Germany, for example. In German, it's going to be Deutschland. The whole world knows it as Germany. The same for us. So Ukraine means my native land or my land, and it was first mentioned in 1887. So maybe that's something you could remember. So you're going to read that. Then we talked about the Mongol occupation. Remember, so that's something you will have as well. So in the 13th century, we had the Mongolian attack, and then we had this prince Danilo Halitsky who stopped the invasion, and he stopped because of knowing the river system well. So that's something you would know. And then because he did it, he stopped the Mongolian invasion in Europe. The Pope gave him a status of the king. So we talked about that, and it's going to be in this document. So you don't need to remember the dates. Please just remember the general facts, okay? Just like if you know the general idea, it's good enough. So that's the Mongolians who attacked, and then we have the Roman Pope who gave Danilo Halitsky the name of the king. So he was crowned. And then at the same time, it tells a bit of the story of Moscovia. So Moscovia at that time went a bit of a different direction other than what Kiev and Rus did. So they actually became closer to Mongolians. We talked about that. Okay, and over here you get a bit of history about their Prince Alexander Nevsky, who would serve the Mongolian ruler of that time, so you can read that too. And then in the 15th century we had Ukraine being half part of Poland, half part of Lithuania. It was divided, it was having a bad time over there. And then we had the Kazakh Dam, remember? So we talked about Kazakhs quite a lot, and that's what it says too. So they do describe the Kazakhs. Who were these people? Please make sure you remember it. The Kazakhs are our free knights. And then just, how are they special? Please find that too. You'll find it in this text over here. So they had like equal rights, They had a free voting system. They had something that is similar to democracy these days. So please remember that. And please remember something about Bogdan Khmelnytsky. So he was a leader of all Cossacks at that time. Just know who this guy is, okay? So read about him. All right, so I guess even here, it's pretty much you all need to know. So if you make a picture, it's gonna help a lot. But don't forget to read the rest too. Just a general idea. You don't need to know details and dates. Okay, so that was the history. What else is here? Let's see. So number 2 is going to be Ukrainian letters. I will write the printed letters. You need to write down the cursive. Do you understand that? So, for example, you will have letters like A, M, T, and nearby you will need to write like A, M, T. That's it. And then, for example, you will have the word mama. And you will need to try to write down something like this in cursive, which is going to be a cursive next to the printed, so not hard, I believe. This one should be fine. Then you will have the ABC test, very easy, because it will be based on your document, all about me. So I will not have anything that is not in this document, so let's see. I guess it's number 1? Oh, yeah, let's number 1. This one, everything about me. So we had this question, як тебе звати, хто ти за фахом, звідки ти, скільки тобі років. You don't need to memorize the spelling, you just need to know how to answer. So you will have A, B, C, D, and you will need to find out the answer. So obviously, for example, you will have як тебе звати, you need to know that the answer starts with мене звати, okay? Or like хто ти за фахом, you will need to know that yes, student is the answer. So you would just need to choose A, B, C, the right answer. Not too hard, but just recognize the questions and these answers. Then you get supermarket, document, and over here, all you need to know is this rule over here, the one that says how to separate the genders, because it's kind of important. It's the base of Ukrainian language. To practice a bit with you, maybe we can do it now. So it's gonna be a table where you need to find out if it's he, masculine, she, feminine, or it, neuter, and you will have some words. So, for example, you'll have, I will write down some random words, like mama, muzey, more, and you will need to find out which grammar it is, if it's he, she, or it. So maybe you can help me now. What about mama? Is it he, she, or it? It's she, and why? Because it ends with a. So if your word ends with a or ya, that's how you know it's she. What about mosaic? Is it he or it? He, it's good. How do you know it ends with you or a consonant? That's how you know the grammar gender of the noun is he. And what about it? It ends with o or a, so that's how you know. So for example, here the word mora, it ends with a, so it's it. Do you want to practice a bit more? Can you see it? Let's do a few more from here. So maybe we can do maslo. Is maslo he, she, or it? It. It's good. So it ends with o. That's how you know it's the neuter gender, it. Or maybe if you get sick, is it he, she, or it? It ends with k. K is a consonant. So that's how you know it's he. It's just the gender of the noun, he, masculine. And maybe we can do, let's do chai. He, that's good. It ends with y. That's how you know it's masculine, chai. And maybe let's do voda. She, that's right. So it ends with a. That's how you know it's feminine. So all you need to do is just please look at the endings. And actually, I would choose these words. I would not use any other words. So if you check the presentation, you're prepared for your test too. So these are going to be your words. Not too hard, I believe. So please just check this grammar for yourself. All right. Then also the same words. You need to know how to read them. The same file. So these products, these foods. Please listen. I uploaded the audio. One of these is the audio. Please practice reading them. And then you will have to read them, just like audio record during the test. Then the breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's something we will do today. It's not going to be hard, but you just need to say what foods you like. So you just need to know one sentence. I love fish, for example, or I love water. And that's it, not hard. You just need to choose the word from the list of products, and you need to say that you like it. So very easy. We'll learn this today. And the last one is, please just know these words, the one you see over here. Maybe we can read them. So let's start with the first one. How do you say good afternoon in Ukrainian? Yeah, that's good. So I didn't decide yet how I would check if you know them. It could be either you just read them, or maybe I'll ask you, what do you say in the morning? And you have to choose one of these words, okay? So please know what these words mean. Доброго дня is good afternoon. What about good morning? Yeah, that's good. Maybe one more time. Let's say доброго ранку. What about good evening? Yeah, that's good. Доброго вечора. How do you say thank you? Дякую. How do you say welcome? Будь ласка. That's good. And two ways to say goodbye. One is to your teacher. It's going to be до побачення. That's good. And one of them to your friend. Bye. Okay, and that's it. So I think it's not that hard. I think you can pass it with flying colors. And to make sure you can do even better than that, you've got your 5 points to the midterm. Remember, you've got still a few weeks to do that. So for those who just started learning letters, please download Duolingo and pass the letters part, and then it will give you 5 points. Or those who can read, you have to choose 5 small texts from this file over here, and you have to record them for me and send them. So this is text number 1, for example, and you have to try to read that, okay? So there are 5 texts. This one is text number 1 for letter B, for example. Then you can, for example, choose letter H and read this little text, and this should be 5 of them for 5 points, okay? And guys, if you feel like you can do it as well, you're welcome. So if you want to switch and don't do Duolingo, you're welcome to do 5 little texts from here, okay? It's up to you. One of these will give you 5 points. And that's it. Any questions? Alright, if you have any questions, you're welcome to write them. I can explain grammar again or explain one of the tests, up to you. Alright, so that's going to be the midterms. And let's see what we get to study today. Alright, so I just passed these little papers, and they pretty much teach you how to conjunct the verbs in Ukrainian. What that one means, if you want to make a sentence like I read, you read, he, she, it reads, the word read is going to take a different ending depending on the pronoun. In English, it doesn't change much. It only changes for he, she, it, right? So it's going to be I read, he reads. In Ukrainian, unfortunately, it always changes. But it's not as hard as you could imagine. You just need to memorize the endings and you're good to go. I'll ask you sometimes to look at these papers. Other time, let's just check the presentation because it covers the biggest part. Also, those who joined the previous semester, we did some of it, so you're gonna feel it's easier. The rest, let's try our best. So in Ukrainian, we've got verbs, as in any language, right? But in Ukrainian, we have two types of them. We've got the first type and the second type. How do you know which type it is? You just look at the ending in its infinitive form. What is an infinitive form? It's when it has to in English, for example, to come, to go, to think. So, infinitive form. And you can usually find it in the dictionary, so that's like a dictionary form. So you need to take a look at the dictionary form of the Ukrainian word, and you have to check the last letters of it. If the last letters are ate or yate, it's the first type. If it's the or ite, it's the second type. So not that hard, but we can practice now. We're gonna read these infinitives you see in front of you, and you're gonna tell me if it's the first type or the second type. All you need to do is just to look at the ending, okay? So super easy, everyone can do that. Let's see, what's the first word? Yeah, that's good. So maybe we can say together, let's go, слухати. And it's an infinitive, it means here. What do you think, it's the first type or the second type? Yeah, so all you need to do, you just look at ate over here, and you see that ate or yate is the first type. So you don't need to think much, you just need to know that ate yate is the first type. And you're right, it's number one. Then let's take a look at the second one. What does this word say? Yeah, and maybe we can go letter by letter. Bachite. So, is it the first type or the second type? Second. Very easy. Ite is the second type. It means C. Once again, bachite. Okay, let's move to the next thing. What does this word say? Yeah, good. So ch, t, a, t. Once again, chitate. So it ends with ate. Is it the first or the second? Yeah, beautiful. It's the first that ends with ate, just like here. Then we have to play. How do you say play in Ukrainian? Yeah, good job. So also. Once again, грати. So it ends with ate. Is it the first type or the second type? Yeah, that's the first name. And two more. Let's see. How do you say to do in Ukrainian? Yeah, let's try. So it's r, o, b, t. It's gonna be nice. Once again, робити. Is it the first or the second? Yeah, that second ends with ite. And the one here, to learn something. Yeah, that's good. Once again, чити. And is it the first type or the second type? Yeah, that's the second type. So that's the main thing. Step number one in your conjunction journey. You have to find out if it's the first type or the second type. And maybe you can make some notes so it's helpful. So let's go with how to change the verbs, how to conjunct verbs. And step one, you need to find out, is it type 1 or is it type 2? So type 1 ends with ate, yate, type 2 and ends with ite or ite. So easy peasy, everyone can do that. And I'm going to tell you that during the first semester, we already learned how to do the first conjunction, and it's also an easier one because there are no exceptions. And the good news is 80% of Ukrainian verbs are belonging to the first conjunction, and the rest 20 is the second. So if you know how to conjunct the first type, you're mostly good to go. And we will do both today. So let's try to review the first one and let's see the second one. Ready? So, how does it go? The first conjunction. All you need to do, you just need to memorize these endings. And then it's going to be good for you. And what happens? So, you've got a word, it doesn't matter which word. Let's choose one of these. Maybe let's do the word sluchati. And it's just in front of you. So number one, can you see? Right here at the top is the word to hear, sluchati. And then if you want to change them, if you want to make a sentence like I listen, you listen, he listens, what do you do? So number one, you need to remove ate or yate. So that's your step one. So pretty much over here, for example, you have the word sluchati. You need to remove ate because you don't need that. So you just remove that. And you're left with the rest of the word. Over here it's sluch. And then all you have to do, you just need to add these endings. Oh, sorry, my bad. My bad. No. Sorry. Guys, my bad. I'm sorry. You don't need to remove ate, you just remove the. Forgive me. Okay. And we don't bring it back for some unknown reason, but let me write it down here. So that's the first type, and you just need to remove the. That's what you do. Now you have the rest of this word, and you just add the endings that you see in front of you. So it's not hard. Do you want to practice? So for example, let's go with I. I is going to be ya. How do you say I listen in Ukrainian? Yeah, that's good. So all you need to do, you just take this part, slucha, and you add you. Can you see? So I is ya, and you need the ending you. And that's it. It's not hard. Let's say ya sluchayu. Then you've got the second one. The second one is going to be you. How do you say you in Ukrainian? Good, that's good. So all the same, you need this root of the word and you need to add yesh. So how do you say you listen? You listen. Yeah, that's good. Once again, this slucha yesh. Alright, then you have he, she, it. How do you say he in Ukrainian? Він, that's good. How do you say she? Вона, and it is missing, but it's going to be the same. How do you say it? Yeah, if you want to add one word, which is going to be it in Ukrainian is vono. Vono. So let's make a sentence, she listens. How would you say that? Yeah, that's very good. So all you need to just is the ending yeah. Let's say again, вона слухає. And the next is going to be we. How do you say we in Ukrainian? Well, that's good. How do you say we listen? Yeah, that's good. So let's say ми слухаємо. And then you got you like plural, many people or respectful you. So how would you say you listen? Yeah, that's good. Let's say again, ви слухаєте. And the last one is going to be they. How do you say they? Вони, that's good. And listen is going to be вони. Yeah, that's good. Once again, вони слухають. Alright, so please remember, that's all you do with the first conjunction. You just remove the And you need to memorize these endings to make the sentences. And you're good to go. There is nothing more. The only exception goes with the words that end with vate. So if it's not ate or yate, but it has one more letter, v, then you need to remove vate. So you need to remove not te, but vate. And to see that, could you skip the second one and we just go to this word over here, which says, to repeat. It's over here. Can you see повторювати? Could you say that with me? Повторювати. So повторювати means to review, to repeat something. So once again, every time you see ate or yate, and it's not v here, but any other letter, you just remove the. But if the word ends with vate, you need to remove vate, and then you do exactly the same. So it's not hard, all the same. You just please mind if there is v or there is no v. That's the only difference. So let's try to do the same, and you can also kind of like take a look here. You've got this word повторю, and you just need to add the endings. So let's try. How do you say I repeat? Yeah, that's good. Let's say it. Я повторюю. Okay, that's good. What about you listen? Yeah, that's good. Let's say ты повторюешь. What about she? How do you say she repeats? Yeah, that's good. Let's again. Вона повторює. What about we repeat? That's good. Let's again. Ми повторюємо. And let's do one more. Two more. Sorry. How do you say you repeat? Plural. Yeah, it's like ви повторюєте. And the last thing is going to be they. How do you say they repeat? Yeah, that's good. Once again, вони повторюють. Okay, so that's it. That was your number one conjunction, number one type. We did it during the first semester. So I don't think it's going to be too hard for anyone. All you need to do is just remember these endings. And right now we move to the second conjunction. Are you ready? This one ends with ute or ite. And there are not so many words like this. So it's mostly an exception, I would say. They would take different endings, which you also need to memorize. To make it a bit easier for you guys, I think you can just circle the endings over here. So you've got this file in front of you. And I feel like the best would be if you kind of like circle the first conjunction, the first type endings. It's you, yesh, ye, yemo, yete, and yut. And maybe you can cross it out too. Let me try to do that. Okay. So if I were you, I would do something like this. I would cross out ate because you don't need that. And then I would circle these endings, so you know which endings verbs take. And these all verbs here are type 1, 1, 1, and we move to type 2 over here. And type 2 follows the same model, it just has different endings. So that's something you need to remember too. And let's take a look. So over here you have the word which means to smoke. How do you say smoke in Ukrainian? Yeah, that's good. Can I say it? Kuriti. And what you need to do, you need to remove it this time. So you get to play with the rest of the word. You've got kur, and then you add these endings. So let's try. How would you say I smoke? Yeah, that's good. Once again, я курю. What about you? How would you say you smoke? Yeah, that's good. So you've got ending ish, and let's say ты куришь. And then він, вона, he, she. Yeah, once again, курить. What about мы? Yeah, once again, мы куримо. What about вы? Okay, once again, вы курите. And the last is вони. Yeah, good. Once again, вони курять. That's good. And there is one little exception here. So, if there is the word that has b in it, just like the one here, for example, in your example, you've got the word робити. So if you've got the word with b that ends with bd or bid, you need to add letter l in I and they. Let's see how it works. So over here you've got two examples. You've got любити that ends with bd and робити, which also ends with bd. The first one means to love, the second one means to do. To play with them, you need to add l over here, and you need to add l over here, and then you're good to go into it. So can we just practice the word робити, which means to do something? If you wanna say I do something, it's gonna be я. Yeah. So first you delete it, and then you need to add l in I and in they, and that's all. So I do is gonna be я. Okay, once again, я роблю. What about you? Yeah, that's good. Ти робиш. It doesn't change. It only changes in I and they. Then what about він, вона? Yeah, робить. That's good. He does it or she does it. What about we? Робимо. Good job. And then ви? Ви робите. That's good. І вони? Блять. Okay, роблять. That's good. So we would just write it down in one paper after the break, okay? And you don't need to remember that. It's just an extra. So see you in 10 minutes, everyone.
好快哦，这个学期过了快要一半了。对啊，下礼拜第6周的话，4月10号不喝完，下一周就是体重号了。那你不会回来吗？好，如果有时间的话回来。突然开放电子琴了。它本来疫情前的时候就有电子琴，然后现在疫情前的时候它就有电子琴，然后好像2020年就开始取消了，然后今年1月又开始有电子琴了。好像乌克兰西部那里还是很安全的，但是就是基辅是已经到乌克兰中部了，但是西部那里还蛮安全的。对。 可以上，可以了。 刚才有吧？刚才有吧？你有点到啊？
刚才有吗？
有吧？看一下吗？刚看错了，不好意思。
All right. As I promised, can we just make some notes for you, like steps, what to do? So you did write down the step 1, right? So you need to figure out if it's type 1 or type 2. And then let's do type 1 step. You've got to delete the or vate if you see vate at the end of the verb. And then you need to add the endings from the table. And let's practice. So over here you get the words over here of the first conjunction, the first type. It's going to be the word to read. How do you say it? That's good. Once again, читати. So according to the rule, you need to remove the, and then we get to use these endings. So let's make some sentences. How would you say I read?
Читаю.
Yeah, that's good. Once again, я читаю. How would you say you read? Yeah, good. Once again, ты читаешь. And then він, вона?
Читаю.
Yeah, that's good. Once again, читає. Ми? Good job. Once again, ми читаємо. І ви? Ви читаєте. That's good. І вони? Yeah, вони читають. So on that part, if you see the ending vate, you do the same, but you remove vate first. The second conjunction, if you get type 2, the one which ends with ite and ite. In this case, you remove ite and ite. So you need to get rid of that. And then you do these endings on the right side. The only exception we have, not the only, but the first major exception we have is when you've got bute. So if you see the word ending with bute, like you bute, you see you've got bute, then you need to add ya is gonna be not just you, but lu, and the same goes for vone. Vone is gonna take the ending not just yet, but liat. So that's the exception. You remove ite and ite in all other words, but if you see the ending bute, you've got to add lu for I, and you've got to add liat for vone. So let's practice this. Over here you have the word to love, and it ends with bute. So please be careful, because here and here you've got to add l, right? So it's not just you, not lu, but you need to add one more letter. Okay, so how do you say I love? Yeah, that's good. Once again, я люблю. How would you say you love? Yeah, good. No L. Let's say ты любишь. And then він, вона. Yeah, любить. Once again, любить. Ми. Good. Once again, ми любимо. And then ви. Yeah, that's good. Really good there. And the last is вони. That's good. Once again, вони люблять. Alright, so that's it. That's your grammar exercise. And I believe next time I will prepare a little grammar practice for you so we can practice it more. Let's do some I-class vocal number. See who's here today. So, as always, I'm gonna say it in Ukrainian. So we've got three. Three. Сім. Сім. Вісім. Вісім. Шість. Шість. So one more time you have 3, 7, 8, 6. 3, 7, 8, 6. Alright, actually almost everyone. 20 something people, which is good. 22. Let's translate them. What is 3? And then 7, 8, 6. Yeah, that's your number. 3, 7, 8, 6. Over there. 3, 7, 8, 6. And right now, let's actually move to the part that is gonna be on your midterm. So, the verb conjunctions you've seen is mostly for one little exercise that we have today. But it's just to explain the general picture so you understand a bit more why it happens and how it happens. I hope everyone has this material in front of you, so you get lesson 4, breakfast, lunch, dinner. That's something we do today. So please open this file and please have it in front of you. It goes like сніданок, обід, вечеря, which in Ukrainian means breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So today you will be able to say what kind of food you like for different occasions. Let's see. Oh, maybe, sorry. Can we actually read the name of this lesson first? Let's start with breakfast. How do you say breakfast in Ukrainian?
Śniadana. Śniadana.
Let's get once again, snidanok. Then you have lunch. Yeah, that's good. Once again, obid.
Obiad.
And the last one is dinner. Večerя. And then you have a little introduction of this girl. Let's see what she has to say. She starts with her name. Let's read the first sentence. What's her name? Irina, that's good. One more time, let's go. Мене звати Irina.
Звати Ірина.
And then she says good morning. How do you say good morning?
Доброго ранку.
Yeah, that's good. Once again, доброго ранку. And then you get to say what time it is now. So now is 8:15. How do you say that?
Вісім. 15.
15. Okay. Let me just write down for everyone. Okay, so we follow. And maybe let's do the first sentence first. So it's going to be my name is Irina. One more time. Let's say, мене звати Irina. Then she says good morning. Let's again, доброго ранку.
Доброго ранку.
And then she says, now is 8:15. So зараз
Вісім.
yeah, that's good. So вісім is 8. 15 is 15. Let's say, зараз 8:15. Okay, and in Ukrainian, every time you would talk about the time, that's how you introduce the time. So you just say the numbers that you've learned before. And you can add the word now, which is kind of useful too. So зараз 8:15 means now is 8:15, obviously. And she says what she likes to eat for breakfast. So сніданок is breakfast. If you want to say на сніданок, it means for breakfast. And then the food she likes to eat, okay? So let's see. What does she like to eat на сніданок? Kavo, that's good. Let's do one by one, okay? So на сніданок means for breakfast. Let's do that. На сніданок. Then you have the one you just did grammar on, which is I love. Я люблю. I guess it's better if I did. Sorry. Люблю. And then she likes to eat two things. Number one is going to be yogurt. E means and. И каву. И каву means coffee. Some of you might know that already. So let's say that again. For breakfast, I like yogurt and coffee. Can you say that? На сніданок.
На сніданок.
Я люблю. Yogurt и каву. So that's what she likes. And then the second sentence goes like, good afternoon. So what does she say? Yeah, that's good. Maybe I'll write it again. Let's say, доброго дня. И what time is it now? Oh, that's good. 20. Let's say, зараз 2:20. І що вона любить на обід? What does she like for lunch? Yeah, that's very good. I'm not sure if it needs translation, but it's like for lunch, I love soup. That's what she said. I like to eat soup. Once again, на обід я люблю суп. Alright, and the next is going to be good evening. How do you say good evening in Ukrainian? Yeah, good job. Once again, доброго вечора. I was still writing. And then, what time is it now? Yeah, that's very good. Let's start with good evening. Can we do it again, please? Доброго вечора. And let's say, зараз 7:10. Now it's 7:10. And then you get to say what she has na вечерю. What does she have for dinner? Yeah, that's good. That's two words we had last time. I hope some of you remember that. Let's say на вечерю. Я люблю курку и картоплю. Does anyone remember what these two things are? Kurka means chicken and kartopля means potatoes. So that's what she says. For dinner, I love chicken and potatoes. That's what she likes. So you've got this story in audio uploaded to your iClass. You could listen again. Just one more time. Can we just read it again? We go with my name is Irina. Let's go. Мене звати Ірина. Good morning. Доброго ранку. Now it's 8:15. Зараз 8:15. For breakfast, I love yogurt and coffee. На сніданок я люблю йогурт і каву. Then you have good afternoon. Let's say доброго дня. Зараз 2:20. Now it's 2:20 and for lunch I love soup. На обід я люблю суп. Good evening. Доброго вечора. It's 7:10 now. Зараз 7:10. And for dinner I love chicken and potatoes. На вечерю я люблю курку і картоплю. Okay, let's do something easy over here. We're going to say what these foods are. So you have to find it from the text. I'll ask you the question, what is it? And you say, it says something, something, okay? So number one, що це? Yeah, good job. So this is soup. Once again, це soup. What about the one here? Що це? Ikava, that's good. It changes the ending. We'll talk about that later. So please mind that it's not kavu in the dictionary form. It's kava. So once again, yogurt и kava. The same here. So actually the endings are changed here. We'll talk about that in 1 second. So how do you say chicken in a dictionary form? Does anyone know? Kurka. Good job. So chicken is ending with in nominative. Once again, kurka. And how do you say potatoes? Картопля. Once again, kurka. Картопля. So you need to change these two. The question, why do you have to change them? And it's going to be something that we learned already during the first semester. So it's like a very fast review of everything. Hope the guys who just joined can follow. But let's take a look. So grammar part again. In any sentence that goes like subject plus verb plus object, doesn't matter what sentence. For example, I like soup. The object sometimes has to change. So sometimes we change the ending. We don't change it all the time. We only change it in the feminine noun. Remember, so if it's she, if it ends with aya, we need to change the ending. So for example, you have the word kuritsa. It ends with ya. If you got ya, it needs to be changed to you in a sentence that goes like I like something or I drive a car. Guys, can we focus on that one? So every single time you have a sentence like I drive car or I eat an apple, or I like strawberry. That's how you would say it in Ukrainian, I mean, grammar-wise. If this word is feminine, you need to change the ending. So if it's neuter or if it's masculine, you don't bother. If it's feminine, we change the ending. It goes like feminine ends with a and ya. Remember that. So if it's a, we need to change it to u, and if it's ya, we need to change it to you. So that's the rule. That's why if you want to say I like something which is feminine, we need to change the last letter. So for example, soup doesn't change because it's masculine, but kurka, kartopля are feminine. That's why we change the ending. The same goes with kava. So kava is going to be feminine, that's why we change it to u. Let's see, so over here you've got the word kuritsa. It's feminine, it's she, because it ends with ya. And that's why we change ya to you. How do you say I love chicken? Okay, once again, я люблю курицу. And if it's a, which is also feminine, we need to change it to u. So how would you say I love sausage? Yeah, that's good. Once again, я люблю колбасу. And maybe we can practice a bit more. A few words that also end with a or u or ya, so they're feminine. Let's do kava. Kava is coffee. So how do you say I love coffee? Yeah, so a changes to u. Once again, я люблю каву. What else did you have with a or ya? Not sure. Maybe it's not for now. But over here, could you please write down a few sentences about yourself? I think it's going to be quite useful for your midterm. So I do hope everyone writes it now. To love is something you know how to change already. We talked about that. So over here you have a question: what do you like for breakfast? What do you like for lunch? And what do you like for dinner? Everyone, please write it down. You'll have it on your midterm. So you write it now, you send it to me, I check it, and one of the exercises in your midterm is done. So let's do it all together now. So over here, you will learn how to say if you like something, and what kind of fruits you like. So let me open some of the foods we had last time, so maybe they can inspire you. So you got some foods here. Where is it? Oh, these ones. Do you remember them? Actually, we can practice first. I hope you can see them. The only rule you need to remember is that if it's ya, you need to change it to you. And if the last letter is a, you change it to u, and that's all. So let's practice, okay? Can we? For example, here you have the word kartopля. How do you say I love potatoes? Yeah, that's good. So я changes to you. Once again, я люблю картоплю. Молоко is neuter, it doesn't change. So how do you say I love milk? Я люблю молоко. How do you say I love cake? Торт. That's good. Морозиво. How do you say I love ice cream? Морозиво. That's good. How do you say I love meat? Мясо. That's good. You don't change. You just change those that end with a or ya. So for example, how would you say I love water? Do. We need to change. A changes to u. And я changes to you. So я люблю воду. And that's something you can choose from. If you want something else, you could check your Google Translate for some other options. But let's take a look. So over here you have a question. What do you like for breakfast? How would you say that? Yeah, that's good. Let's again. Що ти любиш на сніданок? And just like her, you need to make exactly the same sentence, but about yourself. So we can start with for breakfast, I like something something, okay? So please write it down. It's gonna help you during your midterm. So if you have these 3 sentences, you're good for your midterm. So let's go. You have to write down na sніданок, which means for breakfast. Please write it down. Please take a picture later. Please send it to me, and you're going to be good for midterms. So please do it, everyone. Then you have to say I love. How do you say I love in Ukrainian? That's good. So we go with я люблю. So for breakfast, I love. You can write it down on any paper you have or on your phone. It's up to you. So for breakfast, I love. And then you get to choose the foods that you love for breakfast. So obviously it's up to you, but could you please tell me some of the options you can write down, and I will write it down for you to choose from.
Coffee.
That's good. How do you say that? So coffee is going to be kava, right? You said coffee. But then A needs to be changed to U. So how do you say I love coffee? Good job, kavo. That's good. Я люблю каву. So I love coffee. If you like it, you can write it down. What about tea? How would you say I love tea? Chai. That's good. Chai ends with Y, so it doesn't change. It just goes the same. Anything else you could like for breakfast? Maybe bread or rice or cheese or eggs. You got it here. I do know some people like eggs and some people like bread, so maybe we would say that. How would you say I love eggs for breakfast? Yeah, that's good. And if in English we need to make it plural, you wouldn't say I like egg in English, but in Ukrainian it makes perfect sense. You could say that. So it means I like eggs. So, and maybe we can add bread. So how do you say bread? I love bread. Yeah, that's good. Over here. Bread. So during your exam, you will have to choose some foods that you like. You've got all the names. You will need to be able to choose. So if you know that, for example, you like kavo, you will be able to recognize that. All you need to do is just to change the ending, okay? So you don't need to memorize the spelling, you just need to be able to recognize the foods that you like. That's all. You've got all the same list, so it's gonna be easy for you. If you choose some items, you're gonna make it happen. Or just memorize your sentence. Okay, let's do number 2. We've got question number 2, which is what do you like for lunch? Let's read the question first. Yeah, that's good. One second. Що ти любиш на обід? And you get to say exactly the same, but about lunchtime. So, how would you say that? That's good. Once again, на обід. Я люблю. And then let's give some options. What do you like to eat for lunch? Рис, that's good, which is rice. So let's say, я люблю рис. And what else might you like? That's good, but don't forget, картопля changes to you. So картоп. We just need to change the ending, that's all. So we've got картопля, which changes to you. So я люблю картоплю. Good job, картоплю. That's very good. Я люблю картоплю. What else? Maybe we can do meat. How do you say meat? Yeah, я люблю мясо. And let's do fish. But be careful because fish changes too since it ends with A. Yeah, good. So fish is рыба, but we need to change that. So it's going to be я люблю рыбу. And obviously you don't need to write all of them. You can choose one. One is enough. And let's just do one more sentence, which is going to be about your dinner time. So that's the last thing. What do you like for dinner? How do you say that? Nice. Once again, що ти любиш на вечерю? And now let's find out. Let's start with for dinner. How do you say that? And then you can add I love, which is я люблю. And maybe some options. What do you like to eat for dinner? Sorry, I didn't show it. So noodles is over here. Macaroni, which is noodles. So я люблю macaroni. It's pasta or noodles, it's both. That's good. So sausage is going to be ковбасу. Change the ending because it ends with A. And maybe one more. See, okay, that's good. Choose. But it's up to you. Just choose anything you like. Alright, so now if you're still writing, please finish the sentence. It's more important. But if you have some time now, could you please record your sentence? Could you please say what you have written? So it should be 3 sentences. We can practice now, okay? Let's say something like на сніданок. Я люблю каву, чай, яйця, хліб. Let's talk about lunchtime. На обід я люблю рис, картоплю, м'ясо, рибу. And let's talk about dinner time. На вечерю я люблю макарони, ковбасу, сік. And one option is enough, so one is good enough. Could you please record 3 sentences? What do you like? If you feel like this part is too hard to say, they're too long for you, if you just started, you can just say I love something something, okay? You could say я люблю рис, я люблю макарони, я люблю каву. Please don't forget to take a picture when you're finished and send it to me to Teams. I will check your spelling. Right, ready? Okay, just to show you, just now we did number 6, which is please be able to write down and say what foods you like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't need to memorize the spelling, but just be able to recognize and rewrite. So all you need to do, you need to be able to recognize the foods that you like from the list. You will have exactly the same list of words, and you just need to choose what you like. Okay? So for example, I'll write down що ти любиш на сніданок, and you need to be able to choose, for example, яйце, and you need to be able to write down я люблю something something. That's all, okay? So you don't need to memorize the endings. You just need to be able to recognize what you like. That's it. Easy. It will be easy. Don't worry. The only tricky part here is that you need to memorize the feminine changes. So if you see the word that changes to that has or ya, you need to change the ending. That's the only tricky part here. The rest is just for you to choose random foods. So please do memorize. In accusative, we change the ending. Okay, that's all. If you haven't finished yet, please finish at home, record, send it. Please have these 3 sentences. They will help you on midterms. And just for the rest, I wanted to let you know that romantic love in Ukrainian doesn't use this word любити. We have a different word for romantic love. So if you want to confess love to someone you love romantically, the word is going to be кохати, not любити. So if you want to say I love you, that's the sentence over here. Maybe you can try to read that. How would you say I love you in Ukrainian? Good. So if you love your friend or your mom, we don't use that word. You would still use the word люблю. So how would you say to your mom that you love your mom? Let's say I love you, mom. Oh, you can still use you, but if you say to your mom, it's going to be the one here. So я люблю тебе, mama. Yeah, that's the sentence. Я люблю тебе, mama. But if it's your girlfriend or boyfriend or someone you love romantically, it's going to be the one here. How do you say that? Yeah, that's good. Тебе is you. Like, як тебе звати. Remember, it's the same you. So let's say, я кохаю тебе. Yeah, it's I love you, romantically. Alright, and over here we've got quite a long story, so I'm not sure if we can finish that, but let's just try to see. So exactly the same, but you will read quite long story about Ukrainians and what they love to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I think we can finish it next time. So if you're not here during the lunchtime, I would try to just give the answers or something, okay? So it's gonna stay for the next time. And I feel like what we can do now is gonna be a little story about the history of Ukraine. We just continue because we've got one more thing to discuss. So it's not just history, it's Ukrainian literature too. And it's gonna be one name, one Ukrainian name that I hope everyone remembers because he's a very big author. And we talked about him during the first semester too. So last time we finished with the times when Ukraine was divided, it was exhausted, and it was the worst period of our history before 2022. So that time was called the ruin. And that was the time when Ukraine didn't have any representation as an independent land. So the half of it was the part of Poland, the other part was the part of Russia. And we Ukrainians remember it as a very, very bad time. Actually, at that time, Russians would call Ukraine Little Russia or Malorussia. And during these days, in their TV or on their propaganda, sometimes they would still call Ukraine Little Russia. So that's one of the names that they would use to kind of neglect the independence of Ukraine. And actually, one of the reasons they named to attack Ukraine in 2022 would be that they hope that Belarusia, Little Russia, and Russia would still be together. So that was one of the reasons they named when they attacked in 2022. So let's go back to 18th, 14th, so it's 19th century. In the 19th century, we've got this person that you see in front of you, who is the biggest author of Ukraine. Every Ukrainian has to know him, and I hope you can remember his name too. So over here you got his name. Can you try to read his name and his last name? Yeah, we talked about it so many times, so we're able to read. Once again, it's going to be Taras Shevchenko. And by the way, does anyone know what this name is? So in my region, in Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and so on, we have a paternal name. Have you ever heard of it? So every single person in their passport would have name, paternal name, and last name. So Ukrainians don't have middle names, but we have a name that we take from our father. So for example, his father, Taras's father, was named Hrigor. So that's why he's Hrigorovich. So it means like he's named after Hrigor. So for example, my father is Andriy, or like Andrew version. So my full name would be Vlada Andrievna. So we always have this paternal name in our passport. And that's how we call each other to show respect. So you would never go around calling someone Taras. You would mostly always say Taras Hrigorovich, just to show respect. So anyways, he's our biggest Ukrainian poet, and he's one that always was fighting for Ukrainian language. And he was also the one who brought the independence movement back. So just one more time, at that time when he was born, there was no Ukraine, it was Little Russia. But people knew they had the origins of Ukrainians, they had a separate language that was neglected, and the Russian government didn't let us use Ukrainian. But he was one of those who would always secretly write in Ukrainian, and he would promote independence. That's why he's one of the most important authors too. So, first of all, he was born in a very small village in a family of a serf. At that time, some people were not free or independent. They belonged to the master. That was this kind of times. So he wasn't a free human, he was just a serf, and he had a master, the one here, Pablo and Richard. So obviously he couldn't get any education. He was self-studied. No one sent him to school. He was just supposed to work on the farm at best. But he had this urge to study, so he was self-studied, and he always loved reading and drawing, and that's what helped him a lot to become independent later on. So he was very talented, and he started writing his poetry when he still was a serf, and he wrote his biggest book till now, which is called Kapsai, and it was published in 1814. If you wonder who a Kobza is, it's the person who walks around and he tells some folk tales, mostly to kids and other people. So especially in the times when people didn't write or couldn't read much, it was always someone called Kobzai who would walk from village to village, and he would kind of pass the knowledge, or maybe pass some poetry, pass some knowledge or like poetry. So that's the Kobzai. Kobzai is the person who travels from villages and passes the knowledge. And that's the book. And actually, I do have this book over here. So you can check the PPT later. It's translated in Chinese. Unfortunately, it's only translated to simplified Chinese, so I hope it's not a big problem for you to read that, but that's the only translation we'll get in Mandarin. So you can check it later. It's the whole book, but it's translated in Mandarin. So if to tell this story in short, he was so talented as an artist that some people in Moscow and St. Petersburg have noticed him, and they wanted him to be free. They wanted him to draw for them and be the part of this like drawing community back then. So what did they do? They sold one of the paintings at the auction. They earned 2,500 rubles, and they bought Shevchenko. So they paid money to the master, and they got him free. After that, Shevchenko moved to St. Petersburg, which is a Russian city, and he was drawing there. So you can see some examples of his pictures. Here and here is one of them too. He became independent because he was bought. He wasn't a serf anymore, but he had to live in Russia, and he didn't like it much, as his poetry shows. So when you read his poetry, it's all about him hoping that Ukraine will be independent again. That's why he's our leader. He's the one who talks about that in the 19th century, and he was brave enough to do so. And unfortunately, all his life was kind of like a misfortune in both love and life. And if you open that book, you can pretty much see all the struggles that he had. It's all kind of like negative. It's a very depressing book. And it tells a lot about Ukraine at that time that was not allowed to exist. And then also one of the misfortunes that we say he had, he never even saw his land being free. So he died 7 days before the emancipation of Serbs. So in 1861, people decided that the masters and serfs cannot be as a thing, and they kind of get rid of the terms. So the emancipation of serfs was announced, but he didn't see that. He died 7 days before that. But he's still loved by Ukrainians as an example of freedom, and he was the one who was promoting Ukrainian language a lot. We only have 3 minutes left, so I don't want to hurry that. I want to add was like a very short story from life. So every single time you go to the embassy or pretty much any event in Ukraine or about Ukraine, you will see this person. So he's the biggest thing we've got in Ukraine, the biggest person and author. And for some unknown reason, they always like to choose, I would say, the scariest looking picture ever. That's him. It's a self-portrait. And if you go to Ukrainian embassy in any country in the world, it's going to be him. if you go to the school in Ukraine, he's gonna look at you too. Or if you go to the kindergarten in Ukraine, he's gonna be there too. I like to tell this story because I think it's funny. When I was 3 years old, he would always be in the kindergarten where I would go to. So every time we tried to go to sleep, he would kind of watch us from the wall, and it was so scary sometimes that we couldn't fall asleep because he's kind of like has heavy eyes. I think you agree. But that's because of all the thoughts he had and all the wisdom he had to share. So next time we will read and see one of his poetry. If you are not able to join us next time, you can check by yourself. So it's going to be my testament next time. And that's time to say goodbye, guys. So thank you, and let's try to remember how to say goodbye in Ukrainian. Once again, дякую. До побачення. And maybe we can just learn one more, something very easy. If you want to say goodbye to your friends, you can also use this, which is, yeah, we'll say papa. And then use goodbye. See you guys.
今天要回去了吗？你有去过丹江湿原吗？对啊，它4月有一个活动就是如果是彩蛋活动啊，它会这不是才会那个提供在那里。他们丹江学园最上面有一个交易厅，然后会啊，他们交易厅的地方我参加过活动过，然后他们那天有食物也有开会活动啊，所以你要去？我有报名啊，如果你要报名的话，可以报名。可是那天你白天呢，搞不好那天你要回家了。哦，好吧。你都没有去过丹江学园的活动？有去过，只知道他们。你同学住在丹江学园吗？我安的没有。哦。系上的可能有，但是我不认识。哦。你没有住过学校啊？上河你是大院子。哪里？哦。那可能他要回来拿吧。是什么？